What's up, everyone? Shane Larson here, also known as the Boise Buckeye, here on Scarlet and Great, which is Ohio State football with Scarlet and Great on YouTube. Excited to be here with you guys today. I'm going to be flying solo without Florida Corey or Johnny Bullet, and that's because we have some breaking news to bring your way. We'll get to that in just a moment. In order to build the Scarlet and Great empire, though, guys, we need you guys to be following us and subscribe to the channel. If you guys want to help us with that, hit that subscribe button. If you want more breaking news like this one today, hit the subscribe button. Help us get to 3,000 subscribers before kickoff. Make sure to tag a Buckeye Nut in the comments or show them this page. We want to build this alongside you guys because we're part of Buckeye Nation just like the rest of you. We love this. We love conversing with everybody here, bringing up topics where we can talk Ohio State football left and right all season long. So help us get to that 3,000 subscriber mark. Hit that button right now before we go any further. But guys, the news today is about the number one ranked quarterback in the country at the high school level, that is Quinn Ewers. Yahoo Sports first reported it today that Quinn is looking to forego his senior year over at Southlake Carroll High School in Southlake, Texas, and potentially going straight to Ohio State and enrolling early, which he was already planning on doing anyways. But this would be a complete semester early. Camp starts for Ohio State early August, I believe August 3rd. And they're looking at that being a potential option. Now, what stemmed this entire conversation, though, wasn't just out of the blue. It has to do with name, image, and likeness, which was the big conversation this whole last month, as this has become a thing for all athletes to be able to leverage their name, image, and likeness. We've been seeing big-time athletes signing big-time deals, those who are already in college. Some high school athletes in some states are already starting to get the publicity from different brands and local companies around their areas. And Quinn Ewers, obviously being the biggest name in the class of 2022, would naturally be getting a ton of different offers. And it was reported that he had seven-figure deals coming his way. But because the state of Texas doesn't allow you to leverage your name, image, and likeness as a high school athlete, he cannot profit off of that. So here we have an argument between the high school athletes and the state of Texas. Okay. High school athletes for the state versus the state of Texas. Now, some might say, oh, well, he's in high school. He shouldn't be able to do that anyways. Well, it's not the same across the board. Some states are allowing it, some aren't. But the fact of the matter is, what's funny to me, and I want to see what your guys' thoughts are, is he's playing in Texas high school. Okay. Texas high school football is a little bit different. They're different down there, right? They always say things we do different. We do things differently down in Texas. He's playing in a stadium that seats 12,000 people for a high school stadium. That is cost $15 million to build. Okay. $15 million stadium for high school football. Yet they won't allow their athletes to sign these deals and leverage their name, image, and likeness. It seems like this actually might be a calculated move by Quinn's father. They might have seen this coming for a long time. Sounds like Quinn's dad decided to wait till now. He's been trying to get this changed with the state of Texas. And rather than reporting it to the Ohio State media, he reports to Yahoo Sports so we can get a little bit more national publicity, which he's getting, obviously, right now. This is becoming a big-time story. You know, what's he going to do? This is arguably the best quarterback that's ever come through the state of Texas. And you can fight me on that, but he is arguably the best quarterback to ever come through the state of Texas. One of the highest profile athletes to ever come through. Big time commit coming over to Ohio State. Everybody in Buckeye Nation, y'all are excited for him too. And the state of Texas is now in a pickle. What do they do? And what does Quinn Ewers and his family do? If you read the article, you know, he talks about they don't need the money, but it's about the principle of the matter, right? Again, that goes back to they're playing in a $15 million stadium for high school athletes, right? So it kind of goes back to the principle of the matter. Should he or should he not be allowed to leverage his name, image, and likeness as a high school athlete? I want to know your guys' thoughts here. But what's more realistic for Quinn and his family going forward? Let's say they don't stay for his senior year, which they made the state tournament. Like they're a big-time team. He's a big-time name. They were looking forward to him obviously being there. That would be a big loss. That you don't have to say that, right? It'd be a huge loss, though, to his team, to the school, probably to the sport of football for the state of Texas as a whole, right? Which is funny because I'm wondering how many tickets he sells just being there. So how many seats, are filled because of Quinn, yet he can't leverage his name, image, and likeness, right? Kind of funny. So now there's that battle. But let's say he forgoes his senior year. How likely is he actually to be enrolling? How likely would he be to enroll at Ohio State, which he has 1 week to figure out, and actually compete for a starting job? Some people are saying, oh, well, it's completely like no one knows what's going to happen this upcoming season. So here's my thoughts. If he were to go to Ohio State and actually figure out a way to get there in a week, I don't know how that's even possible, if he's academically eligible for that or not. Sounds like he might have to take a class to get there. He was already planning on graduating early, so he already had that in mind. But to get to Ohio State in a week from now to start the camp, it's going to be pretty difficult. If he does that, though, my thoughts are he's probably going to redshirt his freshman year, be a true redshirt freshman, where he could play up to 4 games, but would be able to sit and keep his redshirt, keep his eligibility, and his clock wouldn't necessarily start. Here's the more realistic option, though. It's just as likely that Quinn, if he decides to leave Texas, would go to an academy or some other high school where he could just be a practice role, where he could train and practice and get ready. Because again, he was already planning on leaving the school in January. He was going to graduate early from high school and bounce over to Columbus. So keep that in mind. If he decides to leave Texas, he still has the option to not only leverage his name, image, and likeness and start making some money, which was, as a young man, 7-figure deals is crazy. It's reported that he had some local companies in his city that were willing to sponsor him, a kombucha company that I saw, that I read about, but also some name brands for some different deals. So there's some big time opportunities for this young man that could be life changing. And if he goes to like an academy in a different state where he might be allowed to leverage that, not only does he get the training and get to continue polishing up his skills, he would also have the opportunity to leverage his name, image, and likeness. So it's just as likely that if he leaves, he would go to an academy or a different high school for a practice and workout role, specifically for the couple of months that he'd be there, 4 or 5 months that he'd be there before he bounces up to Columbus anyways, as it would be to have him actually come to Ohio State. And I honestly think that's the more realistic option for Quinn if he leaves Texas, to come, to forego his senior year. I actually think he would stay in an academy or a different high school and be a practice/workout role for him. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are, though. This is actually pretty big news because this is just the beginning, but it's a big, high-profile athlete versus the state of Texas. So what does Texas do? Does Texas budge, or do they stand their ground? Because both have leverage, especially Quinn Ewers and his family. They have some leverage here because of how high-profile of an athlete he is. So it comes down to the principle of the matter. What's going to happen with Quinn Ewers and the state of Texas? I'm excited for him either way. I think it does come down to principle. My personal opinion is he should be able to leverage his name, image, and likeness. There's no doubt about it, in my opinion. I think that's why the NCAA is doing the same thing. They figured it out. Why in the world, if a high school athlete is putting, butts in the seats, why can't they do the same thing? I want to know what you guys think. So here's the big news. Quinn Ewers, does he stay or does he go? And if he goes, where does he go? Let me know.